In the words of Zadie Smith, the secret to editing your work is simple. You need to become its reader instead of its writer. In this lesson, you'll learn the importance of editing your work to ensure clarity and professionalism. We'll explore how to approach the editing phase methodically, starting with distancing yourself from your work to gain fresh perspective, focusing on the structure of your post, and then zooming into the detail. You'll also learn the importance of seeking feedback from others to further refine your content. Picture yourself walking through a park. If the path is littered with pebbles and weeds, it can be uncomfortable and irritating, detracting from the overall experience. Similarly, a reader trying to enjoy your content might be put off by spelling mistakes, grammatical errors, or unclear sentences, much like those irritating pebbles on the path. During the editing process, you clear the path for a smooth, enjoyable journey through your content. Editing is important because search engines value quality, and quality includes good grammar, correct spelling, and punctuation. A well edited copy signifies professionalism and authority, which can positively impact your SEO. Not to mention that errors can disrupt the reading flow, leading to a poor user experience and increased bounce rates, something we want to avoid. First off, give yourself some distance. After writing, step back for a bit, maybe grab a coffee, play with your cat, or even better, sleep on it. I mean, sleep on your blog post, not your cat. Returning with fresh eyes can make a world of difference. When you sit down to polish your copy, start with the big picture. Does your post have a clear start, middle, and end? Do your paragraphs each contain one central idea? It's easy to get distracted when you're writing a post and lose sight of the main message you chose at the start. The editing stage is a good time to check you're using the active voice. When you use the active voice in your writing, the subject of the sentence performs the action. Using the active voice tends to make sentences shorter and more straightforward, which, as we know, can enhance readability. Imagine reading a green cat post about a new eco-friendly scratching post. Would you rather read, "The scratching post was preferred by most of our feline testers," or "Most of our feline testers preferred the scratching post"? The active version not only gets the point across faster, but it gives our feline testers some well-deserved agency. Here's another example. Imagine if this article by CNET was called "Web Pages Are Summarized for Instant Insights by Google's AI-powered tool," with the subtitle, "Coding tips and instantly viewable definitions will be included in the search generative experience." Nowhere near as engaging, is it? The active voice lends strength and clarity to your writing, but it can be challenging to master. To help you get a better grasp on it, you'll find a short exercise in your workbook. In this exercise, you're tasked with rewriting each of the provided passive voice sentences in the active voice. Next up, trim the fat. If you find yourself saying the same thing twice or using extra words, cut them out. For example, rather than "Green Cat offers a completely unique range of toys," I should just write "Green Cat offers unique toys." Another crucial aspect of editing is checking spelling. It sounds basic, I know, but even the best of us can sometimes slip up, especially when typing quickly. Spell checkers have their strengths, but they also have limitations, especially with proper nouns or intentionally misspelled brand names. Suppose I'm writing about Green Cat's new perfectly green catnip mouse. If I mistakenly type "perfectly green catnip mouse," a spell checker will let it slide because "perfectly" is a correctly spelled word, but in this context I've missed the unique brand spelling. Spell checkers rely on dictionaries. They won't always spot errors like using "there" instead of "there," because both are real words. The error lies in context. So while spell checkers are a good starting point, don't rely solely on them. Do a manual check, especially for brand names or unique terms. If you're unsure about a word or name, a quick online search can save you from blunders and keep your content accurate and professional. On a similar note, always fact check by making sure that any claims you make are backed up by reliable sources to avoid misleading your audience. So if you're claiming that your product is 100% recyclable, for example, make sure that is actually true. You should also check that your writing doesn't contain too many cliches and idioms. For example, phrases like thinking outside the box, at the end of the day, and low-hanging fruit are overused and can make your writing feel unoriginal. While a carefully selected idiom can infuse your writing with character and relatability, excessive use can muddle your message, especially for readers who aren't native English speakers. To help you strike the right balance, consider using a tool like Cliche Finder. It identifies cliches in your text, giving you the opportunity to decide whether they enhance or detract from your message. During the editing stage, it can be incredibly useful to read your work out loud. I do this with everything I write, and it's invaluable when it comes to spotting errors I would otherwise have overlooked. It's important that you do actually read out loud and not just in your head. So prepare to feel a bit silly at first, but I promise it's worth it. As well as flagging up mistakes, it can also help you identify parts of your post that are repetitive or confusing or lacking in pizzazz. Finally, don't forget feedback. I often send drafts of my work to colleagues before posting. They've offered insights that have made the content stronger. Perhaps buddy up with someone who's at a similar stage in their SEO copywriting journey to you and read each other's posts. Before you move on to the next lesson, it's time to edit your blog post. Start by taking a short break before you review your work. Check the structure of your post. Does it have a clear beginning, middle, and end? Look for areas where you can apply the active voice to make your sentences punchier and more direct. Be meticulous with your spelling and punctuation and don't solely rely on spell checkers. Read your post out loud and consider asking a friend for feedback.